You can create magic in your life by using your external circumstances and noticing how you're feeling. What are the thoughts that are popping up when something happens in your life? What's the emotions? You know, a lot of times we shove our thoughts, our emotions under the positivity carpet, or we go into reaction mode and we just react and blame other people for what's going on in our life, as opposed to coming back within to self and asking, okay, how is this a reflection of what I might be feeling? Or what are thoughts that are coming up right now that could help me grow and evolve? Because here's the bottom line. Here's what I've learned over 10 years in the personal growth, development, spiritual industries of studying myself and others and life coaching and geeking out on quantum physics and the mind and biology and neurobiology. Here's what I've learned. You are the creator of your life experience because you are we'll call it the thinker of your thoughts. Now, there's influences to that, but ultimately your external reality is a reflection of your internal reality. Now, hear me when I say you cannot control other people. You cannot control circumstances. This is not an opportunity to blame yourself for catastrophes going on in the world or whatever. We are a collective consciousness. We are a group of, in my opinion, divine beings. We're bigger than our bodies. We have a consciousness. I believe we're infinite in our consciousness. Now, I can't prove that right now. I'm not claiming to. However, this is just a belief and a knowingness that I've developed over the past decade of all my research and studies and blending science and spirituality and connecting to self. You are a spirit being, a creative being, and you create with your thoughts, your words, and your actions, your frequency, your energy. Now, I know a lot of you who are watching this right now understand law of attraction and understand this because you wouldn't be up there watching this channel if you didn't. So you know this is not news to you. You've heard this before. You create with your thoughts, your words, your actions. Your external reality is a reflection, a projection of what's going on in your unconscious mind. And so when things surface for you, you get to be the chooser and the creator of your life by deciding, how do you choose to lead moving forward? Do you want to be at effect or in victim mind of the thoughts, the rush of thoughts and emotions that overtake you? Because by the way, your body and your brain is designed to keep you safe. So you have a mechanism in you that has anchored in things to keep you safe, thoughts, habits, your neurology, your nervous system, your chemicals in your body, like all that's designed to keep you safe based on what you've stored in your memory. But those are just thoughts. Everything you see in your reality, you're looking at your past because it's accumulation of your past thoughts, beliefs, and energy and frequency. Because what we're vibrating, what we're putting out, the energy, meaning what we think, what we feel, that's a frequency. What we put out brings back a matching frequency. So that's the magic, that's the beauty of something showing up in your life that you're not preferring, being if you're looking at your bank account or your health is not the way you want it to be, or your relationship sucks or you don't have a relationship. If there's something in your life, you know, maybe certain goals you're not hitting yet, and you just feel like you're spinning your wheels and running on a hamster wheel on this. If there's something going on, pop the champagne, because you can use that as an opportunity to grow, to expand, to decide and make new choices. Now, I didn't know that for many years. For probably the first 20 years of, let's say the first 30 years of my life. And to be realistic, I'd say maybe 18 years to about 29 years old. So, whatever that is, 13 years or so. I was very disempowered. I didn't know this. I didn't have a guide or someone to teach me about life and the mind and your amazing vessel of your body, how freaking fantastical and incredible it is to sustain life for you. You have a pharmacy within you. If you have tons of stuff that your body sifts through. No one taught me or showed me the fact that you create with your thoughts, and your emotions are important. And when you push those down, it creates more issue. I never knew that my external reality is a projection of my internal reality. So it caused a lot of anxiety, depression, all kinds of health trauma that I endured for over 10 years. And it sucked. Frankly, I was incredibly disempowered. And as you can see, I'm extremely passionate. That's why the name of my company is called Empower Your Life, is because I have information that I share that I wish I had, that can help empower you and others to be the divine, badass, creative being that you came here to be be okay to be vulnerable and nurture yourself when you need to feel the emotions that are coming through, because emotion is just energy in motion. Let it move through you. Don't store it, shove it down, repress it, and ruminate over it for decades like I did, or years or months or whatever. So I say all that because the magic is, if something shows up in your reality, and here's what prompted this. I literally have been hearing all kinds of things about the coronavirus. I'm sure you have too. It's everywhere. And it's a thing in our physical reality that we are experiencing. Now, there's two ways we can go about handling it. We can give it massive amounts of fear and talk about it incessantly and keep at it and beat the drum of it and really drain our energy and fear and don't travel and shut down and contract and really just live from a place of absolute fear and talking in the negative about it. Or we can choose to look at it from a more empowered space and handle it at a micro level. How does it make you feel? For me, everyone was talking about it, and I do not listen to the news. I do not engage or talk about things ad nauseum that don't serve me or don't add empowerment to the planet. Now, I don't stick my head in the sand either. I handle life in a very evolved, empowered way, and by doing that, I already have an agreement with God, the universe, my inner being. If I need to know about something, then it will come into my reality. Someone will tell me about it. I will be made aware of it if there's something I personally can do about it within my own microcosm of a body. And so the coronavirus kept coming up. So this morning I told Dave, all right, it's time to do some reevaluating within me to be able to help the world. I think we're a collective consciousness. I think we're, like I said, spirit beings having a human experience. We're all divine beings of the oneness, God force, universe, whatever you want to call it. So we are all connected. So in something at a global scale like coronavirus or something that's impacting the masses, and I know about it, I'll take a look at it within myself. I'll take a look at where within me feels like there's a virus. What is the coronavirus feeling like? Well, it's number one, there's so much fear propagating and perpetuating in our reality about it. So I'll look within and go, where have I held on to fear? Where have I held on to, is there a virus within me that needs to be cleared or healed? And so I do what I call energy work. If you don't know what energy work is, it's shifting your mindset and your emotions and healing yourself to come into oneness and integrity with something. There's a fabulous, fabulous technique or tool called Ho'oponopono. I'll drop it in the comments below. There's a 7-minute audio that an amazing company called the Empowerment Partnership puts out. It's a 7-minute guided visualization on what Ho'oponopono is. Basically, it's the Hawaiian philosophy of forgiveness and the realization that we're all connected. So as above, so below, as within, so without. If something's going on in your external reality, you have the power to go within. This is your magic. You have the power to go within, shift your association with it. Listen, you can't change people or massive global traumas or catastrophes, but you can go within yourself and decide how you want to associate with that thing in your reality. Do you want to give it fear, talk about it ad nauseum, complain about something, beat the drum of it, or do you want to take an empowered approach, look within and heal what really is coming up for you, how you're in relationship with it? So that's what I told Dave. You know what, Dave? It's time for me to heal whatever the association to coronavirus is. I'm using that as an example because it's a huge thing right now. And it's serious. But again, we can either choose to feel disempowered, hopeless, and at effect, or we can decide, how am I going to choose to have a relationship with this concept? I can go within myself. I can do Ho'oponopono. I can do that energy clearing, forgiveness, which again, I'll put in the links below. I can choose to take care of my health and my body. I can choose to feel aligned with, with surrendering to what is actually coming up. You can either choose to be empowered or disempowered. You get to choose, and that's your right. As a divine, creative, badass human spirit being, having this experience on this planet, you get to decide how you want to lead your life. Do you want to come from empowerment or disempowerment? It's taken me decades of working, evolving, growing myself, and I still work on it. I'm not saying I'm always empowered all the time. In fact, that's when the magic happens, when I feel disempowered or I feel like an emotion's coming up. I smile. I'm like, okay, here's an opportunity to heal this. So I told Dave this morning, I want to heal within me, whatever that association is with the coronavirus. Because once you heal within yourself and forgive that, and when I say forgive, I'm not saying it's your fault. However, it's your association. Forgiveness is just saying, I release attachment or judgment of something outside of myself. You can do Ho'oponopono with people, which, by the way, I recommend doing it. I do it every night. I clear the day by just releasing my attachment or judgment or assumption or interactions with everyone so that they can lovingly go and lead their life and show up. Next time I see them or connect with them, they can show up in a new version of themselves without any preconceived notions I might have. So I told Dave I'm ready to clear whatever this coronavirus thing is within myself. He leaves, and then that goes back to I'm doing my thing. I get a call. Dave needed something, and I noticed he needed a favor, and I noticed a negative reaction. I was in the middle of meditation. I was in the middle of aligning my energy. I'm really clear on my goals. I'm launching, the big love and relationship business and funnels this week, or not this week, over the next coming weeks. And I was angry and irritated and frustrated when the phone call came in, and he could tell. And I was like, I'm sorry, babe, but for whatever reason, you asking me this is triggering me. And I was like, I'll do you the favor, but I need to go and look within. So I hung up the phone and I took a moment and I'm like, what is it, Michele? What is it within me? So here's the magic. Louise Hay wrote a book. She has since passed, but she wrote a book, You Can Heal Your Life. It's a fabulous book. In the back of it, she talks about any kind of dis-ease or sickness in yourself or in your reality always gets mapped back to some emotional root, some block of energy or way you've been feeling that hasn't been that's been repressed, that hasn't been expressed. So I pulled out Louise Hay's book, and I, earlier when I was with Dave about what does virus mean? Coronavirus. I mean, coronavirus is its own thing, but what does virus and infection mean? So I looked it up, and virus meant lack of joy flowing in your life, bitterness. And then I looked up infection, and that was anger, irritation, and frustration. So what was magical about this, now I told Dave, I want to clear this within myself and just help shift the energy and consciousness around this. Because I believe that you are that powerful. When you shift something within yourself, as a collective consciousness, we're all connected. We're all oneness, God force, universe, whatever resonates with you. So when you shift something within yourself, you are doing amazing, amazing work for the planet and for consciousness, whether you know it or not. So anytime you ask yourself, oh, well, what could I do? I'm just one person. You can actually do a lot by choosing to heal or realign or give energy, whatever it may be. So when I was triggered with anger, irritation, and frustration, I was like, oh my God, this is my opportunity to clear the deeper meaning of virus and infection that I told Dave earlier, I want to clear this. So I asked the universe that I wanted to clear this, and I was going to do my own work, but the universe, or whatever you resonate with, gave me an opportunity because I was physically triggered by irritation, anger, and frustration. Now, I don't have a virus or anything, but you know what? I was sick the first month and a half of the year. And actually, I've noticed a lot of people have this whatever, they're under the weather or whatever. So it was so beautiful and magical because I literally went from anger, irritation, frustration to then, because I'm open to growing and learning and doing the internal growth and work, that I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I asked to clear: irritation, anger, frustration. That's according to Louise Hay and others that have the more Eastern philosophy, that your physical body is an extension of your mental, emotional body. So when you have disease or stuck energy in your body, you have an opportunity to clear it and heal it, which is amazing. That's magical. That's beautiful. So I took that and I did my own processes. I do NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming, clearings and realignment, something called mental emotional release technique. I used that. I used Ho'oponopono. At first I allowed myself to feel. That's the biggest thing, just give yourself permission to feel whatever emotions wanting to come through you. I was angry, irritated, and annoyed that I was being interrupted because I had, at the bigger level, I had a belief that I was like squandering time. Like, oh, I don't have enough time. Well, that helped me realign and decide, okay, I'm deciding that there is an infinite and abundance of time. Now, what I mean by that, in our reality, we do have finiteness to time as we know it, but we don't know what's beyond. I believe we're infinite beings. I believe our consciousness creates and exists and goes beyond us. So in my mind, that created an infiniteness perspective, an aha. Energy clearing can just mean that you have an aha, you've shifted your perspective, and you no longer feel attached to something, or you release an emotion around something. And so when I had that awareness of, I was irritated, angry, and frustrated. That is linked to viruses and infections and colds and sickness, just like stress is linked to heart disease. Like it's all, science has studied this stuff. This is not new. Your physical body, what's in your physical reality, is a projection and a reflection of what we have going on internally, individually, and as a society, and as a world. So something like a massive scale like coronavirus is looking at, there's a multitude of things. I'm not judging it. I trust the process of God and the universe. I don't judge that. However, I look at it as, is it empowering or disempowering? Is it perpetuating and propagating fear on the planet? Or is it elevating, inspiring, uplifting? Well, in my opinion, the way people have been going about talking about this has been very disempowering. So my message today is, life can be magical for you. You can heal, you can shift, you can align, you can attract what you want. If you're willing to grow, if you're willing to do the work, and if you're willing to use your most greatest power, which is your ability to decide and create. And so today, coronavirus didn't go away per se, but I made the decision this morning that I wanted to release the energy around it within myself, do my part in it, not have any kind of fear or sickness or mindedness around it, and also to heal what was in myself, why I was feeling angry, irritated, and annoyed. I have been actually working on abundance this week. So it's absolutely ironic and magical too that yesterday I had major clearings. I'll probably do another video on that later in the week, but I had clearings around money abundance, and my perspective shifted on that. And then today I had time abundance, shifting that I'm not squandering time. I can create time to do a favor for someone if it's in alignment, if it feels good, and realizing that I felt angry, irritated, and frustrated because I was like, I have my plan for today. I don't have enough time. But you know what? When we hoard time, when we hoard money, when we hoard health, when we don't feel, like when we perpetuate beliefs, negative beliefs about those three major things about love, when we perpetuate hoarding, fear, that creates sickness. I mean, think about the emotions that can come out of that. Irritation, anger, frustration, which according to Louise Hay, links to viruses, infections, sickness. So to cinch it together is, you are freaking amazing and magical. And if you truly want to lead the next level of a magical life, which I have chosen and committed to, literally my word for the decade is magical, because my belief is when we lead a magical life, we're coming from personal responsibility. We're coming from love. We're not brushing things away or sticking your head in the sand. We're facing things head on. When something comes up in your reality that feels bad, deal with it, handle it, grow with it, dance with it. I'm a former dancer, and I learned, stuff happens when you're performing. If you mess up or something negative happens, you just got to keep dancing until the routine is done. So I hope that helped you. If you have any comments, please share below. That was a little bit of a rampage that needed to channel through, and just wanted to let you know that I'm thinking about you guys. I know it's been a couple weeks since I shared a video as I'm ramping up to launch this, the next level of Empower Your Life, my company, which is Empower Your Love Life. the division I'm launching for love and relationships. All right, till next time, it's Michele Ariana. I will talk to you soon.